welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachel
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachel and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm kidding out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that?
Hey!
Hey!
This episode is brought to you by my admin. Well, HD Photo Hub, which is basically like having an admin.
That's right. And it's not just a delivery platform. It's a powerhouse designed to make your work shine. From stunning teaser videos and social media reels to custom property websites and polished printable flyers, HD Photo Hub automates it all so you can focus on what matters, growing your business.
That's right. Hey, gang, welcome back to the podcast. We have Paul today, Paul Chareth, and he is with Staffify, which is an amazing platform that helps you find your next hire, solving serious problems that we've all had. If you've ever struggled trying to find an admin, struggle to find a new video editor, whatever you need for a company, he has ironed this out so well. I can't wait for you to hear about how he's solving some of our biggest pain points. And he's also just done so much in the business that I'm really excited to pick Paul's brain a little bit here and dive into it. So I think we'll start out with Paul introducing himself and telling us a little bit about his background and how he got to this point where he's doing Staffify. Does that sound good, Paul?
Sounds good. Thank you, Neal. Yeah, I appreciate it. My name is Paul. Yes, I started Flylisted in New England, right? That's where home is for me, or once was, I should say. Now in South Florida, but we're currently operating in 6 U.S. states with a team of about 15 different people. So it's been a lot of learning, a lot of kind of fake it till you make it. And then eventually we made it, and now we're again faking it. So we're now coming into year 7. So it's been a crazy ride. Good days and bad days like we all have, but mostly good days. We were rewarded pretty well with the work we put into it. So it's been great, and it's been great connecting and learning about other people. And it's all very similar. We're all kind of battling the same battles here. So it's good to kind of come together and also be here.
Explain a little bit what Flylisted is, so if people are confused.
Yeah, so we are a real estate marketing agency, started in New Hampshire. At the time, real estate was really our go-to, shooting photos and videos and drones and floor plans and all that good stuff for realtors. And we also had a production arm. Believe it or not, it was a different company name, and we thought it was too hard to market 2 companies at the same time. So Flylisted became a little bit more easy to say. Then at the time, it was Be Wild Media, which people were like, how do you spell that? All of our big checks for production jobs were coming into that. And so it was like, let's just do one name. So we work with about 8,000 different clients per year. So it's a good sized company, obviously out of small town New Hampshire, as you know, Neal. We had to span out pretty far. So we do leave, New England even often for the work that we do. And of course now South Florida. So, but yeah, a lot of realtors in our business, and we're kind of sort of moving away from that model slowly and surely, but that's a big part of our sort of secret for 2026, which we can unveil here.
Well, I love that. Yeah. Who doesn't want to hear some secrets for sure? So, okay. So you grew a big business. You're in multiple locations, right? You're killing it. You're doing really well. Flylisted does really great stuff, high production value, amazing video, really cool stuff. So you feel like you kind of did that. And then like many of us entrepreneurs, you're like, what next? And so is part of the secret the Staffify or something different?
No, it has actually nothing to do with Staffify. Sitting on both boards for both companies is makes my life chaos, as you could imagine. But no, the secret's more tied to Flylisted. And again, it's not so much a secret. We've come up with a lot of different things over the years, and we've tried many different things, and to the tune of lots of very expensive lessons learned. And hopefully this is not one of them. But
Rach, can you imagine if you had to go back to a world pre-HD Photo Hub?
Oh, no way. No, HG Photo Hub literally saved my life during the COVID craze. With online ordering, their invoicing, the photo delivery, the Google integration, and just having everything on one platform, HG Photo Hub really does it all. And I cannot imagine my business without it.
Same. Pre-HD Photo, I feel like I was just spending all my time chasing my own tail. It was horrible. The good news is our listeners get a special deal. If you enter the code STS, you're going to get 10 free full marketing kit deliveries. Remember, enter the code STS.
Yeah, basically trying to move away, and I'm just happy to chat about it if you'd like.
Let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. Sure.
So subscriptions has been a big part of our success over the years. And it's interesting because we really never spent any time on any competitors' websites ever. We never really looked at them because we always felt we were more innovative for whatever reason. I think it's an ego thing, but we didn't want to pull either thoughts, inspiration, or gatekeep ourselves away from like our hypothetical dreams. So we've always really just kind of kept the blinders on to make sure that we don't do a ton of market research. I don't think, in fact, we ever did, meaning we didn't at the time. The business was born out of, we were pretty desperate. We needed money, we needed work. And we're like, let's just do this. And here's our prices because this is what we need to eat, not what our market's willing to pay. So we never really did any research in terms of what the market wanted or needed, or even really listened to the market that much. We always thought, let's build it and they will come. And that's what brings us to our next, initiative for 2026 is that, as we move away a little bit from real estate and not just real estate, but we move away from what we like to call one night stands. Meaning it's tough to build a really good, predictable business if you don't know where your next dollar is coming from, right? And although, over the years we've built loyalty, and anybody listening to this podcast, including you guys, we've all built loyalty, but there really is nothing preventing that client, for the most part, from, trying somebody else or going somewhere else. And we looked at that model over the years and think, hey, how can we make this a one-way sort of membrane, right? Where once they're in, it's really hard to kind of get out, right? It's easy. And there's a lot of little things we can do to keep that. But how do we make the membrane of that wall thicker and thicker each and every single year to make sure that people are going to stay? And that's the problem a lot of our agencies are solving for, is that we are kind of still in the business of one-off work, meaning you have a client who has a listing, they call you, hopefully, or maybe your price point's like us is high, and they're like, I'll call you for the next big one. Well, I don't really want that. I want you to call me for everything. So we tried to solve for that problem through a couple different things, but it all really boils down to a monthly subscription where I can hold my clients accountable and they can hold me accountable, because there's never a point where an agent shouldn't be striving for visibility online. And we did that for, we still do that. It's a big part of our business is monthly content subscriptions, and everybody can sell those, and they work really well. And they work even better for businesses than an agent, because the business's budget isn't coming from, an emotional spend. It's the marketing department, and here's what they have to spend. So over the years, we've advanced that, to get to a point. I mean, every year, of course, we want more, but when my employees are asking for raises, or they're like, hey, my camera broke, or we need better stuff, I know where my next month we're billing another $100,000 on everyone's credit card with a click of a button before we even turn on a camera. So that stability has been really important and really a huge takeaway for us.
So you're talking about a subscription model for your real estate agents, just like all your real estate agents, that would include some listing stuff, also some social media. Is that the idea?
The idea is this is for everything in between the listing. So the beauty of it is we still get the listing business. In the past, when we were desperate and eager and rolling the program out, we gave people, and this still works really well, like a 10 or 15% discount on listing services as long as they're in your monthly program, which is a great way to get people to be, hey, Christopher, you already spend $25,000 a year here, and I know you want to really grow your presence on social. Let's take a look at this. There could be an angle where you're saving a little bit on each and every single listing, but now we're consistent. So the reason we did this is because if you're a salesperson and you go to call a real estate agent as a media agency on the phone, the likelihood that I have something that I can sell you is pretty low, meaning that window of time between you getting a listing agreement signed and requesting for photos is like a day, maybe. So what's the odds I'm going to connect with you when you need real estate photos? So a lot of these guys can't successfully run sales because the only thing they have to sell is real estate marketing. And they'll say, sure, I'll call you for the next one. So shoot, now I got to remember when this, you know what I mean? You kind of, now I've created a system of having to follow up with somebody all to go chase a $800 maybe at most invoice. Just seems like a lot of work for somewhat of a little return.
And the odds that actually happens with that person
It's so low.
Very slim. Yeah, for sure.
It's very slim. So we needed something that a salesperson could sell you on the phone today. Great, you don't have a listing? Well, let's talk about what I can help you with, right? And everybody kind of needs that. Whether their budget permits is one thing, but every agent and business owner who gives, a damn about being seen online needs this type of content.
Yeah, they all know they need it. They're all being told that they need it. It's just what I'm finding with a lot of the agents that I've been talking to this about. They're like, oh, that's expensive. And I'm like, it's done for you and you don't have to think about it. It's going to be consistent. You're going to be everywhere and you're going to get leads from it.
Yeah. And in hindsight, our service was expensive. I think that was another big sort of learning curve for us, was that our market didn't take our pricing really well. Our starting price was $1,500. And our average price, believe it or not, the price that most clients pay in my business today is $2,899 a month.
And that's for what, Paul?
That's for full blown. So 12 posts on social a month that they're getting created. They're getting 4 to 6 hours, depending on the client, depending on how big of a promise we needed to make at the time, but usually about 4 hours of on-site filming. We'll come back with a bunch of raw footage. We'll dump that raw footage into our database, into our system, right? And our editors will look for 12 pieces of content. I mean, it's a lot more organized than I'm making it seem, but we'll basically look for 12 pieces of content. We'll post 100 stories a month for the realtor, so 5 story posts per day for 20 days of the month, which is also pretty important for them staying visible. Doing engagement for 4 hours a month. So it's an hour a week of engagement. And it's a pretty tight pro. A lot of people really like it because they know the second they cut that expenses, they can't go and produce 12 reels on social for less than that. So it's in hindsight, it's actually a pretty cheap service, but it's hard to sort of put a bow on that with agents who are used to spending $300 to $500 listing media.
So technically, just out of curiosity, when you're saying all those stories, is that all from that session that you did, or are you getting other stock media? And
yeah, that's a great question. So typically we're tapping into any sort of previous media spend that they've done in the past, which is really cool. But we create this thing through what we call, it's called Smart Suite. And basically an agent can take a video. So we're like, hey, throughout your day, bust out some videos, clean them up, make them pretty, make a meaningful story, really a story out of those pieces of content. So we tap in. It's basically an extension on their camera roll that we have. So Smart Suite, they can just go from their phone to Smart Suite and upload directly. So a lot of them, you'd be surprised, 100, we're like, shoot, we should have done 300, because they'll upload 20, 30 photos a day. If you're visiting your listing and that thing's still on the market, well then great. You still let's get some content.
Yeah.
So some of it's UGC, which is user generated content. And then some of it, of course, is from us. And then, the stronger and longer the relationship is, most of our clients are required to sign a year-long contract on it. So by default, as we get more time with the client, et cetera, we have a better library. So in a month where they can't show up or they're on vacation, they're covered, which is really cool.
Are you training them at all on what kind of content they should grab on site?
Yeah, so it's interesting because we're moving away a little bit from the actual management arm of this. And the biggest reason is price point. For us to make money on that actual price point service, we need to be able to offer it at $2,800 to $3,000. But we also feel like we can get clients in at a lesser price point. And some of them might not need that management. So when they are involved with the management side, yes, they're getting coaching by an individual that we work with named Pat. And that's what's really cool. They know what they're creating. Our team knows what they're creating. We have a brief added to the calendar event. So everybody's really on the same page. So it is tight. And I think people really appreciate that. Took a long time to get there though, trust me.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
When did
sure.
you start offering this? How long have you been doing it?
3 years ago, through a couple different iterations. I tried it in-house first. I hired 2 girls that at least I really believed in at the time. They both got paid about 50,000, so it was about $100,000 investment for the year just for their salaries. And they're like, "Hey, we'll build this for you." They both knew each other. They interviewed well at least, but then it was just a lot. So basically, the point I'm getting at is I tried to do it in-house and it just didn't really work. We stuck to, and the message for any other agencies, like, stick to what you're good at. Like, if there's people who are going to help you manage social, like, go partner with them, because you don't want to get into all that.
Yeah.
You want to be in the business of content. And even more so now, we're just trying to be more in the business of, like, we're not really talking about the management. It really doesn't take that much effort to post if you already have meaningful content ready to post. It's easy enough. So that's going to allow us to lower our price points now by about 50%, which we're excited about because it's going to allow more people to participate.
So you're basically offering a service that doesn't include the management piece to attract more people into it, but then they could potentially add that on as well, right?
They could. Yeah, it's like, I think, $1,000 add-on. The beauty of it is like most people, I'm not saying most people, but a bigger portion, because I've probably had over the course of 2025, probably 150 sales meetings with like a really low conversion rate on our pricing. And most of the times I was in the sales meetings, like, it was a pricing objection, and I was like, well, that's what I need to charge you. There really wasn't any way around it. And I probably, out of those 120, 150 calls, I probably closed 10 or 11 people. It was just a really small percentage. Wow. Not a lot. I mean, sure, we'll take the business, but it's humbling. I'm like, damn, I spent a lot of time here. It would have been an easier convo if the price was like $1,500, and I'd still make really good money. So it's important to know when to pull something off and sort of stop hustling that journey so hard of being like, hey, I just need to find more clients who are going to pay $3,000 and $5,000. Well, if my clients are agents who, on average pay $600 an appointment, that's like our AOV. It's hard to ask for $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
So one of the problems, so we've tried to get some of this off the ground, and we've just tried it out with a few of our favorite clients, right? To try to do the social media creation and management. We found that we did not, like you said, we want to stay focused on creating content, and we did not enjoy managing content at all.
Yeah. No way.
But then the downside of that is that I found when we're not taking care of that arm of it for them, the biggest pitfall for the agents is the follow through, that they actually, once they get this content, they actually do something with it. So that they fell out because as soon as they got busy, they dropped the ball on doing all that on their own. So that's been the process. I've been like, all right, how do I solve this? Do I only offer this service to people who have an admin, right, already, who could handle this, and I train that admin how to post, or somebody trains that admin how to post? Or is it a scenario where we find a solution for them to get an admin, which might be where your other service might fall in? Is that a problem that you faced as well? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the more filters you put on your client, the smaller your pool's going to be, right? You're like, okay, you have to be a realtor who doesn't think $2,500 a month is too much, and that also has an admin, right? So having like all these prerequisites in place starts to become
smaller,
a little bit more difficult. Yeah. And what the real solution to this is, and I don't think a lot of people are going to like it, is when you go and you have the same 150 meetings with business owners about a $2,800 offer, it's such an easier conversation. And that's what has brought us to where we're at today. Is like, we love and will continue to service our agents, but I 100% think for 2026, they will not be the revenue leader of our company. We'll get most of our revenue from businesses, and we can still, like, I'm not telling these people, okay, I know you like to shoot houses, now all of a sudden you're shooting. It's like a lot of those people now that we're working with are short-term rental companies who are trying to get more rentals under management. They're a custom log home company in New Hampshire that has a bespoke process with guys who are carving, logs out. And,
yeah.
I know a lot of these people.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
right.
like
we have our hands in a lot of places.
You're still going to be in a house if you're scared of that. We just onboarded Ferrari of Fort Lauderdale. selfishly because I'm a car guy, but like we're
That's
not.
going to be awesome. I
Yeah,
know.
they're
Yeah.
like doing race like sponsorships. So that's not going to be a house anymore. I mean, we feel comfortable with that type of work. Not everybody, is like, I can't shoot, either people or this or that. So you can still do this work in real estate.
Yeah.
And there's people who will digest. We have a company that builds schools in New England, like cutting edge schools, like really nice, small, for like monastery schools, like smaller little,
Mm,
and they're a client of ours, and
interesting.
and we're shooting structures, we're shooting buildings, we're shooting places with 4 walls and a roof. It's no different. It's just we changed out our client, and every time that invoice is due, it's paid in full, no complaints. And that's the biggest thing, is if you need to diversify your client base. You don't have to change your offering even slightly if you don't want to, but most of it's still my same guys go out, the same equipment's going out the door, the same 5 bracket photos are going out when we need to do stills, the same video editors editing the video that was once for, you know what I mean?
So if somebody was going to add these services, try to do that to diversify, right, for a little more stability, what would you say they should be looking for? What have you found any trends with the kinds of clients that you're looking for, and how you find them?
So I think for anybody who's going to go down this road, the easiest way to do it to start is to go after like your legacy clients first, right? Is like, hey, this is really the next step for our company. We've worked together over the years. That's going to be the client that has, or clients that has the most trust and is going to be the easiest person to work with, right? And I always say make a no-brainer offer, which is like, if you were to be on the other side of this and you looked at this and you owned a business, like, would you buy this, right? So it has to be like, you have to be able to stomach what that is. And for some people, it might not be 1,500 a month to start. It might be like 800 a month, but at least you get a few people in your mesh, in your membrane. Your wall might not be super thick yet, but enough just people to believe in it, because you're going to need that portfolio. Most of these people are like, well, I want to go get these clients. They don't have any social media content to share. Everything pertains to a listing. There's no farming of like local businesses or community outreach or community engagement, or even like for like a realtor, like there's still people, like we have a realtor who's a pilot. Let's go fly around with him. And they don't have that type of content. So you need to be able to get that. The easiest way to do that, offer all of your listing shoots of free social reel. Now you're starting to build content. The agent might like it and become a client of yours. So it's actually easier to build than you would think. I think it's just a matter of offering that to people, right? Offering that free shoot, get 20 free shoots done. Now you have a portfolio. Now you build that landing page. Now you can put pricing on that landing page. I think it's easier than people think.
And then for the businesses that are not realtors that you already have, do you reach out to your realtors because they have such a connection and go, hey, this is the new market we're going into? Or are you just finding other businesses some other way to, like the Ferrari client or the guys who are custom building these log cabins? How do you come across these kinds of clients, and what are the red flags, and what are the, this is the kind of client I need kind of indicators?
Yeah, I think the red flags, just because it's fresh on my mind, is businesses where the business owner's doing everything. I would tend to try to stay away from those. I think the spend is still emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to just partner. Like a lot of our clients by default become like marketing departments of a business. Might not be big, but somebody who has some form of the word marketing in their title, where they're like, hey, who handles and runs your socials? Great. I'd love a meeting with that person. Most of them we do a lot of sales outreach through AI, which we love. It works really well. I think it's a conversation for part 2, but we have an AI thing that sends 6,000 emails a month, and it works really well. And they're hyper personalized, and it does all the following up until somebody answers. Then it goes to somebody like typically myself or somebody on our team. But the cold stuff is tough. But you have to be doing that. The easiest is going to be your own network in your own market, people who know and trust you, right? Whether that's a restaurant you go to a lot and you know the owner, and restaurants are another great one. Restaurants thrive under this program. We've always kind of been in this, we have a whole department called CPD, commercial production. So by default, we've got a lot of these clients who have hit us up for one-off stuff. And I know there's people who will listen to this call is like, oh Well, yeah, I did get hit up by an architect once, and I did get hit up by a home stager once. So those were the types of people that like who have used you before, and it wasn't really a real estate agent. Like that's the first place I'm going. Hotels, we've done a lot of hotels. Car dealership, we did a lot of car dealerships, mostly photos and stuff for a finished car dealership. And now we're like, hey, we know the GM. Let's ask him if you like this. So it's just like connecting those dots for people, because everybody does really, like every business does need this service. The question becomes, is your business going to put this together in a sexy enough little package to make the client look at this and be like, yo, you guys are my people? Because once you get in, like they love it. They don't want to try to find somebody to replicate your work. As long as you do good work and you're a decent person to communicate with on set, or you have a good team and people like you, they typically just don't leave. You don't see them leave. If they're gonna, they will in like the first 3 months. But most times you'll find that it won't be that case. It has happened now, and you have to be prepared for that.
Do you require a couple months in advance just for like, I'm sure the onboarding process of this takes some time. So do you require a couple months, 2-3 months or something?
I don't. We require a card on file. We require a credit card authorization form signed. And then we put in, I think the biggest incentive for people to not screw around is like, if they cancel before a year, we're billing you for 3 months. We've done that too, and I'm like, oh, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like there's a client who just renewed, and then he was like, oh my, some stupid excuse of why he wanted to cancel, but we charged him like $5,500. It's like I'd be pissed. So we really have the cancellation fee should sting. It should hurt you. It should hurt the agent rather, or the business, because it's meant as a detractor, right? Like we don't, they're like, screw it. It's $500. I'll just, whatever, but when it's big, 3 months worth of their contract, or 2, I think we're doing 2 now, but it's still expensive. It's really expensive. So yeah, we expect that contract to be signed for a year.
Okay,
cool.
Like it.
But we don't typically take it up front. I mean, I think if there's people listening to this call, I think if you have the ability to take it up front and you like need that cash flow, then by all means. I always thought it was hard to take the money because as a savvy, crazy business owner, I would have already blown that money by the time it's done.
Totally, right? Yeah.
I would have blown the money. Now I'm like, I'm doing this work for free?
Yeah, it feels that way.
There's something about knowing that you're going to get paid for doing it that just makes it that much easier and fun to do,
Yep.
Yeah. I don't charge for my portraits until I deliver the photos, and every time they're like, oh, do I need to pay you now? And they're all worried about it. I'm like, no, you pay when you get your final images. Don't worry about it. And I've never had a problem getting payment. They always pay. So
yeah, that's great. And the same with us. I read in these groups, people are like, this guy hasn't paid me. What do I do? I think like our lifetime revenue is like 6 million over 7 years or so, 6 years, or 6 years, not 7. But we've never unaccounted for $1 ever.
Rachel just did
you said 6, 7. I'm such a nerd.
Well, no, it all kind of, it's like a Da Vinci Code. Like once I remember the actual revenue, I'm like, should be around the same as we've been in years in business. But we just started year 7. So
okay.
It makes more sense. But yeah, that's another, we never deliver stuff without getting paid ever. So it doesn't become an issue.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the worst thing when you get in this situation where you're trying to get your money, right? That never goes well. That's the hardest.
We were too poor when we started this business to be not getting paid. So that wasn't a luxury. We had to send people files without us getting our nut first.
I think that so many creatives though, they're especially starting out, they're like, I hope they like it, so let me just give it to them first, and and then nope, you're in the worst position there.
I know. Yeah, that's a tough position to be in.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to ask you too, since we mentioned it in the beginning, is I do want to kind of just clarify what exactly is Staffify.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so that's our virtual assistant arm of our company, and it's actually been around a lot longer than it's been publicly around. We started it as kind of Flylisted was having issues like finding people that were good. We kind of went through the ringer with different VA agencies. They appeared good, but it got expensive. Meaning, like most VA agencies would charge you like, I think the average cost we paid was 3 to 5,000 per head, and they would guarantee that person for 90 days. So if that person quit on the 91st day, like we were back to we'd have to pay again to go and find somebody. So that sucked. We had somebody who quit on like their 100th day, and then we had somebody quit after 6 months. We had people quit while we were in that grace period too, but it wasn't even about the quitting. It was like they weren't people like that were quality either. So it was like a few things. We're burning money. We're not getting good people. And so at the time, like I was never really a shooter. I did shoot, and I'm like a good photographer, but I don't like I'm more of a business guy than a photographer. I was like, well, let me figure this out. Let me figure out how to legally and ethically, internationally staff, because everyone's always like, oh, you need a VA. Oh, you need a VA. And yeah, I think the VAs are amazing. Like I love and trust my VAs with my life at this point. They have everything, access to everything in my life, which is a unique situation. But we started the company because Flylisted needed an admin to speak to our customers. And we didn't think there's that, how hard is it to find somebody? Turns out it was actually a lot more difficult than we knew, because they would do, either the VA would have 2 or 3 jobs at the same time, because people are out here and they're like, oh yeah, we want a VA that's like $3 or $4 an hour. Well, that $3 or $4 an hour VA has like 4, $3 and $4 jobs at the same time. So people are like, oh, my VAs are cheap. So we're like, let's go to market. Number one, like what's different about, Flylisted at the time was looking for support. What can we do to find good people? Number one, pay them well. Number two is like be really, really strict on the recruiting efforts. So we have like aptitude tests and English comprehension, speaking verbally tests that we proctor. And we created that, and we're like, this is kind of over manufactured just for our own business, right? Because we ended up, fast forward now, most of our VAs have been there 4 and 5 years. I mean, this was a long time ago. And so we took that, some of my friends were like, I need a VA. And I'm like, here, Flylisted built this like whole entire thing. Like you can just I'll give you log in, go do what you got to do. And then I was like, I think I can take that and go help more people. So that's what we did. And we built it up, pretty big, first couple years. It's actually just 2 years old now, but it's a good sized company. But we do a lot more now. A lot of our clients are Flylisted's real estate agents. So it's kind of like one hand washes the other. It's like a lot of our realtors need admins and assistants. Our marketing agency partners, like you guys, so we need either video editors or project managers or somebody to just be the barrier between you and your clients, which is huge. We've been doing that now for 2 years. We have over 250 employees at that company. So it's been really cool.
Oh, good for you. That's
a lot of
amazing.
work, but we're proud of it. And we provide, we have a wins chat. It's really rewarding. Like people renovate their house, or they get to move out of their crappy, city that's unsafe where their doors don't lock and they have kids, or it's just these are developing in underprivileged countries, but it doesn't mean like from a humanitarian perspective they deserve less. So we don't really compete with any other VA agencies, at least that I know of, because we pay these guys so well. I mean, double-digit salaries for everybody, right? And they don't leave. They're like, this is the most I've ever made. My VA Mark, when he first started with me, I paid him like $6 an hour. I'm like, this is all I can afford. He's been here now 2 years. He's making like $25, $26 an hour, which to him is he's got like 8 kids, so he needs it. But it's what that has done for his life is just so rewarding. So it's just really cool to see that.
I agree with that 100%. I've had my VA now for almost 4 years, and he used to live in with his parents, and he couldn't afford to move out, and he was able to move out to his own place, a 2-bedroom apartment in a nice part of town. And he told me, he's like, none of my friends can afford to do this. Like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I bought him an air conditioning unit because it's always hot in the Philippines, and he was sick. He had a fever, and I'm like, what if you had a fever and it was 95 degrees out? Like, how terrible is that? So I was like, Jen, here's $350. Go get a unit. It's
That's
just
so
cool
great.
when you can do that stuff for them. And they're so grateful.
Amazing skilled people, by the way, just as good as went to college, likes the same stuff we like, whatever. It's not. And to see that much value brought back into their lives, because it's all about, it's a matter of finding them. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what Staffify really does. That's the cool part about it. So we connect, that opportunity with somebody who doesn't really want to deal with it, and, is either coming from, they went through an agency before and fell short like Flylisted did, or they're like, oh my goodness, I've never even, like, I know I need this, but I don't know where to start. There's a lot of hand holding that goes on over there. So we're proud of that.
Psst. Sorry to interrupt. If you haven't heard, Rach and I are using Pixl CRM.
Pixl CRM isn't just another boring tool. It's basically your business's best friend. With Pixl CRM, you can automate your lead generation, follow-ups, client communication, and stay top of mind with email campaigns. And there's just so much more.
And if you want, you can try it out today. Just go to pixlcrm.com/STS, and you're going to get the first month of Pixl CRM free.
That's great. And that's how I found Paul. Actually, one of my friends, Tony, told me about Paul, and he was like, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to have him help me find a VA video editor. And I was like, tell me more about this. This sounds
You
great.
have your interview tomorrow.
I know, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
So my my admin, my assistant, Casey, put in her notice, but she gave me until March. She has another business and she just needs her attention now. So she's like, I just can't do both. And I'm just sitting here thinking in my head, like, I honestly can't afford to hire another American assistant. It's just so expensive. And I know that I can kind of piece and part her role out to the whole team. And by finding a VA that speaks good English, once I heard and kind of talked to you about it, I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to jump and just go this route.
Yeah.
So, and you send the way he sends a candidate, like to me, he sends me a little profile of credentials and like they've gone to college and all that, and explains their back. It's basically just their resume. And then it's a video of them actually talking, they're telling you all about their qualifications and who they are. So I can hear their English. I can kind of sense their personality, which is extremely important to me. I need someone that has that bubbly, kind of spicy personality that's going to be able to kind of play with the clients a little bit and have fun. I don't want someone that's like very, very formal. I want them to be professional, but I also need them to have a personality, So for me, when I get a candidate and I can hear the way they talk and all that, that was huge. And they do have very good English. Like the last one you just sent me, like legit, that barely has an accent. I was like, ooh, I like her.
Nah, I was really excited about. I mean, it's not a unique scenario to have that, because that's, I think, why we had, like, our clients were not having it when they spoke with somebody. It's just how cultural norms are. Like, it's not, people want to be able to understand people.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So that was another thing. We have on our Staffify website, we have who we call our Jaya. If you go to like staffify.com, Jaya is our poster child. We have a Jaya, a Sean, and then we have, I think, I forget her name. I'd have to go back and look. But basically, Jaya, we have these two model poster children of Staffify that we basically, everybody is like an example of that person. And Jaya speaks perfect English. You would never know if she was in South Florida. You would never, or New Hampshire, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so important to not have and create that disconnect. Because at the end of the day, your clients don't care if you have a VA, just to be clear. What your clients care about is you cheaped out and you hired somebody who barely speaks English, and they're calling because, their income's on the line and they need to repeat themselves 10 times. That's what they care about. That's where the problems arise. But that's another thing too, is like the English and the language barrier. It's a very small pool of people that I think exist out there that have really a dismal, sort of an accent, something that we can deem as like, hey, this is just as good as somebody in the US. And that's what our clients want. That's what we want. Yeah, I'm excited for you to meet them. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then I also like that you cover some of the sort of management parts of it as well. Once they're on your team, they're your employee, right? I remember you've got like tracking of the hours that they're actually doing and some things like this that are also some pieces that make it hard for some people sometimes to even want to deal with that, right? Can you tell me a little bit, just a quick overview? I'm not
sure. For one is so we have what's called the Big Brother solution, and their screens are, so when they clock in the morning, they clock in on a computer, right? But their screen starts recording too, which is really important. So if there was ever a situation of like a discrepancy of like, what were you doing? Now, again, the cool thing about that is that system that we use tracks their mouse. So their mouse movement, it tracks their words per minute on the keyboard. So it knows the difference between work getting done and not getting done. And when that work isn't being done, it logs them out of the time clock, and then they need a manager's approval to go log back in. the manager has to look and see what they did. I mean, all this happens very quickly, right? It's happening, I mean, across hundreds of employees throughout the day with, whatever. It's a full-time job for somebody because it does happen. People are just people. That's why it happens. But, oh, sorry, I went to the bathroom and whatever, right? So people like that because when you're billing somebody, when like we have our clients' info, credit card info on file too, their employees 6,000 miles away, you can't have disconnect at all. There can't be discrepancies of how long somebody worked. It just doesn't simply work. So that's another thing is like our clients want to work with an honest business, and they want to work and they want to pay for what they're, they want what they're paying for. It creates a system of trust. And honestly, and more often than not, because we have that solution, most people just don't screw around because they know it'll get seen. So yeah, it spits a productivity report and like a summary of each day to our clients' email. So they're very in the know. And I think that's really important.
And what about your guarantee? Like you were mentioning another company that had like 90-day or something.
Oh yeah. No, ours is in perpetuity. So they're like, if somebody doesn't work out after, let's just say they quit in 2 years or they quit in a month or 6 months, whatever it is, we just replace it. No additional cost for our client.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
So it keeps our clients engaged with us. We don't want people to obviously go elsewhere. And we think, if we do a great job, they won't need to do that. So, there's things that come up and arise where people need to, like we had a VA who wasn't planning a child when she started and now she's having a baby. So a client needs a new person and we're able to, get them situated at no cost. So it gives you that peace of mind.
That's awesome. Cool. I love that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we love that.
So we have a link below if you are interested in finding a VA for your business. If you need one and you want to go the quick route and not deal with having to find multiple people because they don't work out, reach out to Paul over at Staffify. The link is down in the description. And if you just tell him that we sent you from the podcast.
Awesome. Cool. So where can everyone find you online, Paul, or where should they seek you out?
We are gostaffify.com. We always say it's like Spotify, but it's Staffify. It's gostaffify.com. And then we're just Staffify on Instagram. We got lucky with that one. So
nice.
I know I need to be doing so much more there, but I also need to do less at the same time. But yeah, they can connect with us there. Our website's really responsive. We have a team that sits there and monitors basically all of the web leads. So if you have questions, pump them through there. I'll get back to you fast.
Cool.
Awesome.
And before we wrap up, we do a fun little bit here because it's great to hear all these positive success stories, but
horror stories are way more fun.
It's horror story time.
Yes. No, I mean, it was hard to pick one. I was like, wow, this is a great question. So we had a client, we'll call him Mike. Mike is not his name because if this goes back to him, Mike might send me a cease and desist letter. But he's one of our legacy clients. He paid us about $100,000 a year. He was a single agent, but he just had an unlimited spend. There was just like a few instances, and let this be a lesson, but we got like super close with this client, right? So it's always like just that we became like boys, and as much as that seemed so great, it also made some situations where they thought they should have got something that they some form of a special treatment or something, and it was a bummer because we ended up losing him as a client because of sort of just it was weird stuff. Like we were the real reason we ended up losing him was kind of a combination of situations, and this is where the horror story is birthed. So we had our first employee, his name Dave, that is his actual real name, actually still great friends with us, but he ultimately got fired. And Mike, really nice, bougie, expensive client, would hire us to shoot these, monsters in Vermont, big, crazy houses, mostly second houses. So like we would be in these insane mansions, like sun up to sundown. It was actually pretty cool. And there was one that we had to shoot a few times, and I think we sent Dave out to do the Matterport, because we're like, it's Matterport, where you can't screw this up. And Dave thought it would be a good idea to bring his dad on the shoot with him. Okay. So Mike, our client, like randomly just comes to check in because that's what, you do when you're a real estate agent. You have a photography crew in your mansion for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's dad, who's like a geriatric, he's like really old, and he's just like touching everything in the house, as you can imagine. It was like he was in a museum. It was just horrible. So Rick calls us and he's like, hey, your employee had brought his dad to the shoot with him. We're like, what? At the same time, we're like not surprised because it's Dave, and Dave is like a mixed bag of like, you don't know what you're gonna get for the day. Dave is Dave, and he's still our friend for those very same reasons. But he pulls Dave aside from the he's like, hey dude, like your dad's here.
You brought your dad to work?
This is my client who owns the entire state of Vermont and is like politically blah, and they go back and Dave's just socially, like, he's not socially, he just has social issues. But we love Dave, but he doesn't see that as like he's like, he wouldn't have done it out of harm. Like, I know Dave did it harmlessly. He's like, hey dad, check out what I do for work. You're retired, come hang out. And his dad was using the facilities. He went number 2 in a bathroom that hadn't had running water in about 10 years.
Oh no.
So that was the final straw with Mike, our client, with Dave's older father, who decided to go number 2 in a non-working toilet. And yeah, I think fill in the blanks on the rest of that. So
I just picture the real estate agent walking in, and the dad is like on the couch, no pants, just watching his favorite show, eating the food from the fridge, right?
Yeah, we called it the $100,000 shit.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Yeah. How many poop stories do we have now?
There's a lot of poop stories in our horror stories, just so you know. God. It's a trend.
I was trying not to do one because we have I have like voicemails on my phone from like clients like, hey, one of your employees. Yeah, I'm like, oh god.
Oh no.
So that's like our number 1 rule. It's like, it's so funny because you're in front of bathrooms all day. We're like, just don't use them. Yeah. So
unless you're a lady,
find a Dunkin' Donuts before you get there, right?
Yeah, seriously.
That's amazing.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. That was a good one.
No worries. Hopefully this maybe or may not reach them, but
yeah. Probably not.
The true implications of that mistake.
That was a good smile. It kind of hurt my face laughing from that. So that's good. That's how you know it's good. Love it. Well, thanks so much for sharing, dude. It's been so great having you on the podcast. Really appreciate it. Maybe we'll have to have you on again another time because I know you hinted at some other things we didn't get to. So we'll
I know. There's so much more to chat about. But yeah, thank you both. It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
It's been great getting to know both of you too. So I'm excited.
It's fun to hear how we can really diversify and how we can branch out a little bit more and, just get more income coming in different ways because it does feel like such a seasonal business. So thank you for sharing that. That's huge.
100%.
Love that.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.
Bye.